Hi guys, so I am finally getting around to filming my discussion for Lady Midnight. I don't actually have the book with me, it's being lent out to my friend currently. But yes, I read this book last month and I really loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars if you've seen my wrap up. And yes, I think it was an incredible book. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend that you read at least the Mortal Instrument series to read this because we get introduced to the characters that are in Lady Midnight. We get introduced to them in City of Heavenly Fire and what they went through. And yeah, Lady Midnight picks up 5 years following the events of City of Heavenly Fire. So I highly recommend you at least read the Mortal Instrument series before you pick up Lady Midnight. And you don't necessarily have to read Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy to read Lady Midnight. I didn't read them because I don't have an e-reader, nor do I feel like owning an e-reader. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the physical copy. But anyway, you don't necessarily have to read that, and yes, just so you know, it's fantastic. And that is it for my general reviews. So if you haven't read the book, bye non-spoilery people, because the rest of this video is going to be spoilery. So yes, I'm assuming if you're still here, you've read the book and you want to discuss in depth about it. So first off, we start off with this character being introduced to this character in the prologue named Kit. And I was thinking, okay, why are we being introduced to this character? What does he have to bring to the table? I was really confused by his introduction in the prologue, as I'm sure many people were kind of confused by his introduction. I originally thought maybe he was there to kind of show about the shadow market, but as it turns out at the end, he's the Lost Herringdale. Like, yeah, that kind of blew my mind a little bit. Like I said, I didn't read Tales of Shadowhunter Academy, but if I would have, I probably would have been even more mind blown than I already was, because I was like, Kit is actually relevant to the story. He has a bigger part than what I had thought, you know? And I'm excited to get to see him more in Lord of Shadows. And, yeah, I think him and Ty, honestly, are going to have a relationship, whether it be friend relationship or romantic relationship. I do think that they're going to have some sort of relationship going on. I did read a snippet that Cassie posted on Tumblr. That was a scene with them. And so I don't know what's going to happen there, but yes, predictions for future books. But yes, another big thing that happened in the book was the Guardian situation. I had originally thought the Guardian, I'm sure as many other people assumed it was Diana, because I was like, okay, something's going on with Diana, very kind of shady there a little bit, has a lot of secrets. I mean, clearly she does want to keep the kids safe, I guess, but you know, so did Hodge. For a little bit at least, until he betrayed them. But I originally thought it was Diana, but then I thought, okay, so since Hodge was the betrayer in the Mortal Instrument series, I doubt she'd make the tutor be the betrayer again. So then I was like, okay, who could this guardian person be? And then it briefly crossed my mind that maybe it was Johnny Rook, but that was just like a brief little thought that I had. But I never once assumed it to be Malcolm. That blew my mind. I was like, holy plot twist. This was amazing. Like the best plot twist ever. Because I did not see that coming. Because I really liked Malcolm at the beginning. Because I was like, okay, you know, he's friends with Magnus and he clearly likes these kids. He watches Tavi and everything, you know. So I was completely mind blown by that revelation that he was in fact the Guardian. But seeing his story about Annabelle and everything, I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of feel for him. But, you know, he doesn't need to kill Tabby. Like, I mean, if he thinks he needs to kill a child, a 7-year-old child, something's wrong there. But, you know, I'm glad he obviously didn't follow through with the killing. But, you know, some blackthorn blood had to be spilled there for Annabelle to wake up. I mean, wouldn't it? There wasn't any mention of anybody being injured, so I don't know. Unless I missed something. Like, let me know down below if I missed something and somebody actually was injured. I can't remember correctly. I don't think there was any mention of anybody being injured. And that brings about also, is Malcolm really dead? Like, I don't think so. Because, as many people have said, no body, no proof. And, you know, I watched too much Pretty Little Liars to know if you don't see a body, then there's, even if you do see a body, it's not even proof that they're dead. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think Malcolm's dead. I think he'll come back in later. And, although there was that mention when Annabelle, at the end, when Annabelle was awoken, of my love, or like her love's blood or something like that. So I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it said because it's been a little while since I read it. I read it last month. But yeah, do you guys think Malcolm's dead? Because I don't think he's dead. And what do you guys think about Julian? I think he's going to be like super crazy in Lord of Shadows because, I mean, it's already been proven that he will do whatever it takes to protect the people that he loves, and that includes turning in Anselm Nightshade. I thought that was kind of like, I was shocked, honestly, by how easily he was able to just turn his back on Anselm, his uncle's only friend. Like, I was shocked by that, but I think it was Kieran that made the statement of, like, I can't remember exactly what the statement was, but it's like, you seem very gentle one way, but really you have a ruthless heart. And, you know, I think that that's going to come into play, and I don't know what's happening with my hair. But anyway, I think that's going to come into play in Lord of Shadows. It was shown a couple of times, like in Lady Midnight, like the ruthlessness that he can go to. But I don't think we've seen the extent of what he can go to. I mean, he's had a lot going on. He had to kill his father, and then from the age of 12, he had to raise his young siblings, and he's also kind of running the institute. So yeah, he's had a lot going on. So yeah, I'd be surprised if he didn't become more ruthless in Lord of Shadows. And yeah. And let's backtrack a little bit and talk about Mark. This discussion's all over the place. But anyway, I didn't think we'd be introduced to Mark this early. I'm glad we were, because he added so much comic relief. I mean, the scene in the diner when he's just like, I'll just take a plate of strawberries. And it's like, okay, plate of strawberries. And then the scene where he comes down and he's dressed in nothing but a fur coat. And it's like, don't trust Livy and Ty. I in hysterics at that scene. I was laughing so hard. And my hair this morning, oh my goodness. Anyway, yes, I loved Mark so much. Him and Ty are my two favorite characters in the book. Yeah, and I just really, really love them. They're very different types of characters than I read before. And I appreciate Cassie and her ability to write a plethora of different types of characters. But as for Mark, you know, I know many people will ship him with Christina, but I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I ship him and Mark. Or him and Emma. I don't know what I'm saying. I ship Mark and Emma. Yeah. I really like them together. I think they definitely have had their moments where I don't know, I feel like I connected with them more than Mark and Christina, although I do kind of I like their relationship better as a friendship, Mark and Christina's. But I do like the idea of Mark and Emma being together. So yeah, I know I'm on the unpopular opinion side, but that's okay. Yeah, and I really did like Mark and Kieran. I liked them together until the whole whipping scene occurred, and I was like, okay, dude, you just ruined your chance here. Yeah, I didn't like that scene. I thought it was very intense. Yeah. What else to talk about? So Emma and Julian, I do like them together, but I don't want that whole Parabate curse to come to completion, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want them to turn crazy, and I think Emma is, I think she's kind of doing the right thing by trying to get out of that and make him try to fall out of love with her, because I mean, she knows what's going to happen, and I have a feeling if she told Julian the whole Parabate curse, that he would be like, oh, it's okay, this won't be us, like, this won't happen to us. And he wouldn't listen. I have a feeling that he just wouldn't listen, because he loves her too much, and he wouldn't probably listen to her. So I don't know. I'm a toss-up. I'm a toss-up there. But I don't want to see Julian crack. Like, I really don't. And yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of feelings, and not a whole lot of time. I don't want this video to be too long. Maybe like another minute-ish. But yeah, that's kind of some of the thoughts that I had on Lady Midnight. So let me know down below what your thoughts were. Who did you think the Guardian was? What do you think is going to happen in book 2? Do you think Julian's just going to completely lose it and go insane? Yeah, what do you guys think is going to happen? And if there's anything else that I didn't mention that you want to discuss in the comments below, please do that. And also, yeah, you can always Snapchat me questions as well. I'll leave my Snapchat down below as well. But yes, this video is already almost 14 minutes long, so I'm going to go ahead and leave. So that is it for this video. If you liked it, that's good. Until next time, bye.